Dark green paint, white stripes, a scratch beneath the stripe on the passenger door. For most people, that is Sonny Pruitt's Kenworth. One truck, one television memory. Claude Akins behind the wheel, Frank Converse beside him, and 45 installments of Movin' On rolling down American highways. But the truck with that scratch was only one member of a fleet. At least 5 Kenworths appeared during the show's filmed run. 2 more were bought for a third season that was canceled before they could appear. One went back to hauling freight after Hollywood. One may still exist somewhere, even though its trail has been cold for years. One was cut apart, except for a hood that still survives in Wichita, Kansas. And one unused 1976 truck is now in Iowa, still being driven, despite never appearing in a single episode. If you enjoy the stories behind the machines that television made famous, subscribe. These are not just prop stories, they are ownership stories, working truck stories, and sometimes stories with no ending yet. The records supplied by truck researcher Lance Cormier make one thing very clear. The green Kenworth on Movin' On was never a single object. It was a group of trucks made to look like one. Then the show ended, the paint began to fade, and every VIN went its own way. There is even a disagreement at the beginning. Kenworth's own published history identifies the truck from the original in-tandem pilot as a dark green 1973 W925. Lance's research points another way. The grill badge, the door hardware, and the timing of the pilot suggests that truck may have been a 1972 model instead. It had a 36-inch sleeper. It was older than the trucks that would follow. And after the pilot premiered in 1973, it disappeared from the show's history and reportedly went back into ordinary service. That disagreement matters because it sets the tone for everything that follows. This is not a story where every fact is neatly preserved in a studio archive. It is a story pieced together from bill sheets, old titles, dealership records, photographs, license plates, owner memories, and details almost nobody thought would matter when these were just used trucks. Once Movin' On became a series, MGM needed more than a single green Kenworth. It needed trucks that could be filming in one place, waiting at another, being fitted for a specific scene, or carrying camera equipment. It needed trucks that looked close enough to let viewers believe Sonny Pruitt drove the same rig every week. The show gave them one identity. Time gave them all different lives. The closest thing to the hero truck is VIN 143604. It was built at Kenworth's Seattle plant and delivered to MGM Studios on June 26, 1974. Its Washington plate was H34828. It carried a Cummins VT903 rated at 400 horsepower, an RT12513 13-speed transmission, and 4.63 rear ratios. Those are not glamorous details. They are the kind of details that only become important decades later, after paint and memory have both begun to lie. In the first season, 143604 can be identified by that scratch under the passenger side stripe. It appears in episodes including Good for Laughs, The Good Life, The Time of His Life, The Trick is to Stay Alive, and Wedding Bells. In the 2-part Goin' Home, it shared the screen with another nearly identical truck. That is the strange pleasure of looking at Movin' On now. What seemed like one familiar truck begins to divide in front of you. A plate changes, a small mark on a door appears, a different piece of equipment turns up at the rear. The show's illusion becomes visible. In October 1975, 143604 left MGM. That should have been the end of its celebrity life. Most television vehicles do not receive a second act. They are sold, altered, worked hard, and gradually separated from the story that made them recognizable. A few are preserved, many are not. But 143604 kept moving. It passed through a Kenworth dealership in Arkansas and then Wichita Kenworth in Kansas. From there, its path ran through Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Nebraska, Colorado, and Wyoming, It was not protected from ordinary life. It hauled real loads. It worked for a living. For a long period, it belonged to Colorado owner Jim Madsen. Then it passed to Kerry Hoberg in Wyoming. In 2004, Hoberg put it up for sale on eBay. Sagehorn found it there. Sagehorn had been a fan of the old trucking shows since childhood. He was not looking for the truck that night. He was looking for memorabilia. But there it was, a television Kenworth that had spent decades being treated like a normal truck. He bought it and became the caretaker most closely associated with the hero truck's modern history. He preserved its connection to the show without pretending it had been frozen in 1975. The old Kenworth had a past before him. It had working miles. It had owners. It had repairs. It had changed. That is what makes its survival more interesting than a simple studio prop story. The truck did not survive because it was always treated as sacred. It survived because for decades it remained useful. In 2018, Sagehorn sold 143604 to Mark Stracener of the Memphis area. The ownership changed, the identity did not. The scratch beneath the stripe, the plate history, the build information, and the long chain of evidence kept the truck separate from every other green Kenworth that had once worn the television colors. One truck from Movin On had become something rare, not merely a replica, not merely a truck painted like Sonny Pruitt's rig, but a documented working survivor. And beside it, in the first season, was another truck that looked almost exactly the same. Its name in the records is VIN 143605. Its location is another matter entirely.
Hey, real quick before we keep going. There's a car burned into your head right now from some movie you saw 20 years ago. I built something for that. It's called the Hollywood Car Vault. 25 of the most legendary cars and trucks in movie and TV history. Real illustrated art for everyone, and the real story behind it. Not the version everyone half remembers, the actual history. What Hollywood faked, what happened to the real ones, and what they're worth today. Tap through it right on your phone. No app, no download. And it keeps growing. New rides get added later, free for everyone already in. $17, one time, links in the description if you want in. All right, back to it.
VIN 143605 was built in Seattle as well. It was delivered to MGM 2 days after 143604 on June 28, 1974. Its Washington plate was H34827. Like 143604, it had the 400-horsepower VT903 Cummins, the 13-speed transmission, and 4.63 rear ratios. But it had one feature that made it useful for certain scenes, a pintle hook. That detail matters because it lets the truck emerge from the visual fog of the show. In episodes such as Games, Grit, Lifelines, Ransom, and Roadblock, the rear equipment helps identify 143605. It was one of the trucks that gave the series flexibility. One could be filming, one could be staged at the next location, one could be prepared for a different kind of work. Like 143604, it left MGM in October 1975. Its first known stop afterward was Milford Truck Sales in Milford, Connecticut. In June 1976, it was traded at Laurel Kenworth in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. It was then bought by Dick Welsh of White Valley, Pennsylvania. For years, the story attached to this truck was that it had been destroyed in a fatal head-on crash. It is a neat ending, too neat. Cormier's ownership chronology complicates it. Dick Welsh did die in a fatal collision in 1988, but he was reportedly driving a Peterbilt cabover at the time, and 143605 had changed ownership around the beginning of March 1980, 8 years before Welsh's crash. The trail continued. It went to Dean Smith Trucking in Burdett, Kansas. It was reportedly still connected to that operation into the late 1990s or 2000s. There was a Missouri lead in 2006, then nothing confirmed. The last part is not a dramatic invention. It is exactly where the trail goes cold. There is one reason not to close the book. According to dealership inquiries cited by Cormier, the 2026 Kenworth microfiche database still recognizes the VIN as good.
That does not prove 143605 is sitting intact in a barn. It does not prove it escaped being dismantled. It does not prove anybody who owns it knows what it is. But it means the old story of a certain fatal crash should not be treated as fact. Somewhere, perhaps, there is a green Kenworth with a different history under its paint. Or perhaps there is only a record waiting for another document to surface. That uncertainty belongs in the story. Not every truck gets found. Not every movie vehicle gets an auction catalog and a restoration photograph. Sometimes all that remains is a VIN, a few old dealership transfers, and the uncomfortable possibility that the thing everyone assumes is gone may not be gone at all. The third Season 1 truck was VIN 143603. It was an earlier, modified 1973 Kenworth. Its role was different from the two 1974 road trucks. It was used primarily for interior scenes through both seasons, where production needs were more important than perfect factory correctness. It retained a Utah prop plate, VL9863, during Season 1. It was modified on the outside to resemble the other trucks when it appeared in exterior material, and it left a small clue for anyone watching closely. Its aerials were crooked. They were crooked because of camera mounting. Sometimes they pointed forward, sometimes they appeared pushed back by the wind. In the second season episode, Love, Death, and Laura Brown, the aerials are especially noticeable. In Season 1, the truck can also be seen in exterior work in cowhands and hoots. A detail like that can sound trivial. It is not. The aerials turn an anonymous interior truck into an individual. They prove that the television fleet was not a row of identical machines. They were work tools, adapted for a job. One had a scratch. One had a pintle hook. One had camera-mounted aerials that never sat straight. After Movin On was canceled, 143603 reportedly went to Claude Akins. The arrangement was that he could use it, then return it to the studio. He did return it a few years before his death. After that, the truck reached Orlando Kenworth in Florida. The extensive production modifications made it impractical to preserve as an ordinary working vehicle. It was parted out and scrapped. That could have been the end. But Wichita Kenworth bought the hood. The truck itself is gone. The cab is gone. The frame is gone. The identity that once carried Sonny Pruitt through interior scenes is gone. But its hood remains at the Wichita dealership, used as a ticket booth. It is not a complete artifact. It is better than that, in a way. It is an industrial fragment that still has a job. A piece of a television truck became part of a place where real truck people still gather. That is how much of this fleet survived. Not whole, not pristine, but in pieces. When the show returned for Season 2, the fleet changed again. Two 1975 Kenworths were built in Seattle on May 27, 1975. They were different from the Season 1 1974 trucks. They had smaller Donaldson breathers. They used NTC Cummins engines and 10-speed transmissions instead of the Season 1 trucks' VT903 V8s and 13 speeds. The production still made them look like Sonny Pruitt's truck. That was the job. The audience was not supposed to notice that the mechanical character of the fleet had changed. But today, those changes are part of the evidence. The 1975 trucks used California plates 99700Z and 99702Z in Season 2. The modified 143603, used primarily for interior work, carried 99703Z. Once Season 2 ended, the 1975 trucks were sent on tour while the production briefly expected a third season. The network changed its mind. The show was canceled. The trucks came back from promotion and returned to the working world. They went through J.T. Jenkins, a California Kenworth dealership with more than one terminal. Both went through the San Diego location in early 1977. One became a flatbed truck hauling steel in Michigan. At some point, it was reportedly traded somewhere in Arizona. The trail ends there. The other was leased to W.L. Davis Trucking of La Mirada, California, while its owners and driver were connected to Dillon, Montana. It continued working in that region, then it was traded after the fleet moved on to newer equipment. Again, the trail ends. There is a kind of honesty in that. These were not cars kept in climate-controlled collections. They were big rigs. Their value was in their ability to work. The more faithfully they returned to real life, the more likely their television history was to disappear beneath repairs, repaints, ownership changes, and miles. The missing Season 2 trucks are not failures of research. They are the normal outcome of working truck history. Then there were two more Kenworths. They were 1976 models bought for a third season of Movin On that never began filming. They were closer in appearance to the Season 1 1974 trucks, but their mechanical specification followed the Season 2 pattern: NTC Cummins engines and 10-speed transmissions. They were ready for a show that no longer existed. That is a strange place for a vehicle to live in history. A truck built for a television series usually has screen time to prove why it matters. These did not. They belonged to the show in planning documents, promotional work, and the memory of what the production intended to do next. After the cancellation, both passed through Laurel Kenworth in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. One was later involved in an accident in Pennsylvania in 1989. It was reportedly pulling a dump trailer when the driver lost control. That truck's story ended without ever becoming part of an episode. The other was used for promotional photography. It was never filmed for the canceled season. It was never Sonny Pruitt's truck on television. But it survived, and its modern story belongs to Arthur Kropp and Clint Loeb. Arthur Kropp owned the unused 1976 Season 3 promotional truck from 2018. That date matters because it is easy to merge his story with Paul Sagehorn's and Mark Stracener's story. The trucks shared a color scheme, a studio connection, and a show, but they were not the same truck. Sagehorn's truck was VIN 143604, the Season 1 hero truck. Kropp's truck was a later 1976 model, bought for Season 3, used for promotion, and never seen in the series itself. Kropp cared for it as a piece of the show's wider history. In 2023, when he moved to South Carolina, he decided to sell it. He had interest and offers, but chose Clint Loeb, a friend in Iowa, because he believed Loeb would understand what the truck was and look after it properly. Loeb brought the Kenworth to Garrison, Iowa. He has spoken about enjoying the old truck and taking every opportunity to get behind the wheel and move it. That is the right ending for this particular truck. It was purchased for a season that vanished before its first day of filming. It spent decades outside the public memory. And now it is not hidden away as an abstract collectible. It is driven. Not as Sonny's hero truck, not as a substitute for VIN 143604, not as a false claim that it appeared in the show. It is valued for what it really is, an unused piece of the production, a witness to the third season that never happened, and a surviving Kenworth with its own identity. The Movin On Kenworths are a reminder that provenance is not paint. A green W900A or W925 style conventional can be restored beautifully. The white striping can be recreated. The period sleeper, the chrome, the lights, and the stance can all bring back the shape people remember. But the history lives somewhere else. It lives in build sheets, in title transfers, in a plate number hidden in a behind-the-scenes photograph, in a scratch below a stripe, in the difference between a 13-speed and a 10-speed, in a pintle hook, in the names of the people who worked on these trucks, drove them, bought them, sold them, and refused to let their story collapse into a rumor. For a collector or builder, that is the real starting point. Do not begin with the paint, begin with the records. Learn what truck you have before deciding what it should become. And if you want to go further than the surface story, the build sheets, the period details, the parts questions, the communities that preserve these old working rigs, that is the conversation worth continuing. Because one truck from Movin On is documented through Paul Sagehorn and Mark Stracener. One unused Season 3 truck is in Iowa with Clint Loeb. One hood remains in Wichita, and VIN 143605 may still be out there somewhere, waiting for the next plate, photograph, or dealership record to pull it back into the light. The show called them all Sonny Pruitt's truck. The records say they were 7 different lives.